Good morning. Today is Wednesday. I haven't really videoed the beginning part of the week, but yesterday I went grocery shopping. I did a huge haul. I went to Costco, which I don't normally go to, but we are having people over this weekend. So one of Alex's friends from college is coming to stay with us, and then because he's here, my brother-in-law is also staying with us, who lives nearby, but it's just easier for him to spend the night here. So we have 2 guest bedrooms that I have to make up, and all of the meals for the week for when they're here, which is like 4 days or 5 days. And I have just like a huge laundry list of things to do. And so we're gonna do them. And so I'm just gonna read through these right now, and then get them done today and tomorrow. And then we can hang out and chill. So I do still need to go grocery shopping, just to get a few more things. I need to sweep and mop our living room. I don't know if this is gonna happen, but there are bookshelves at my in-laws that we're gonna get, and I need to get those, clean them and fill them. I don't know if that's gonna happen though. We'll see. Alec needs to hang pictures, but I actually need to fill the pictures first, the picture frames. So when you do that, I need to make both of the beds that they're sleeping in and clean our bathroom. The person that lived here before has a bunch of mail that's been coming to our house, so I need to give those to some people. I'm gonna make vanilla syrup, coffee syrup. We just got a console, like a side table, and I need to wash that because it's like kind of gross. And then I'm gonna put our record player on it, and our record player is broken, so I need to fix our record player and set that up. I need to rake our backyard and maybe the front yard. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Our fire pit is kind of gross. I kind of wanna fix that, like clean it out, and then like put away some stuff, vacuum. Oh, we just got antique dressers, which I haven't even shown you really. So I need to vacuum those out and fill them with clothes. So let's see what we can get done. As soon as I finished recording that, our Wi-Fi got delivered. So I'm probably going to be adding that to the list for today. And honestly, I'll probably be adding a few other things to this list. So we'll see what actually gets done. Okay, I just got back from Staples and I printed one of the paintings that I'm going to frame. So I still have to like put it in the frame and stuff like that. And I'll wait to show you until it's on the wall. But then I also printed, because I got all of the 2 paintings that I'm putting on our wall, I got on like an open access, right? So like they're like real paintings, obviously. And obviously like picking what paintings I wanted on our walls was like, okay, like what is this saying about us that we want this? Whatever. And I like panicked and I was like, what if like someone comes and like is like, oh, what's the deal with this painting? And I was like, oh, I want to be able to be like, oh yeah, it's this painting, you know, whatever. So I printed out all the information about the paintings, and I'm gonna cut them out and like put it on the back of the painting so I can like glance at it if I need to, you know. Okay, I'm back at my place and I wanted to show you the paintings that I'm setting up. So I'm putting them on, putting them on like a brown paper. And then here's one of the ducks that we're putting up, and I'm like marking where the nail needs to go, and then I'll tape this onto the wall, and I'll have Alec put everything up. But so the 2 paintings that I'm doing, one is of the Parthenon, and the other one is controversial, but it's the Battle of Bull Run. You can look into that if you'd like. But then, yeah, so we're doing those 2, and then this is just like Target. I don't know, it's nice, I guess. So, yeah. Okay, for now, this is the setup. I can't figure out how to take that off or put that on, so I'm gonna wait until Alec gets home. Now, I I do want to keep these down here in a box, but the like container that I want, we're probably not gonna buy for a couple months, so for now, it's just gonna be there. I also can't set up the Wi-Fi without service because the instructions are a QR code. So I have to wait for Alec to get home for that as well. Okay, I cleaned out the fire pit with this spoon and this bucket. So you don't want to watch me do that, but here's the finished product. Wow. Okay, so let me show you the antique dressers that we got. I haven't cleaned them yet or anything, but we've put them in our room. So this one is gonna be Alex, and then this one is gonna be mine. And it's got this mirror and cute little ornate details. Okay, so today's Thursday, so our guest is coming, both of our guests are coming today. And so I need to finish like setting up and everything like that, and I'm almost done. I can show you guys soon, but I'm on my way actually to an interview, which is exciting, for a barista job that I was kind of like pestering the coffee shop about, and I'm not really sure what to expect, so we'll see. And then because he was kind of like, we're not hiring, but I also know like coffee shops will say that because they don't want to hire someone without experience, and then when they like find out they have experience, they do. So I don't know, fingers crossed. But then the school that I was like, I'm subbing for, they just reached out and they said they need a 6th grade teacher. Literally at the exact same time both of these things happened, and Alec is like, do both. I'm like, okay, at least the teaching position is full-time, so that's not possible. I mean, I don't know, we'll see. So I haven't responded to the teaching thing, I'm going to this. But they wanted me to interview tomorrow for the teaching position. And I'm assuming that's like, start immediately. Like, they said that something happened to their teacher, they didn't say what. But, so it's funny because I kind of have just been like, I've been busy and there's been stuff to do, but I'm definitely excited for either of these. Could be great. So we'll see what the Lord has in store. Okay, I'm back from the interview. Honestly, I'm like shaking. I just was like super nervous the whole time. I don't know why. But it went so well. The owners are Christian, which Alec was telling me that, but I didn't know if that was like gonna come up. But eventually he was asking about, like if I was teaching or not, and like stuff like that. And so I kind of had to explain that I like didn't have a teaching credential because I teach at classical schools and whatever. So then I was like, do you know classical schools? And he was like, oh yeah, there's 2 just nearby, which I've talked to both of those schools. And they're both Christian schools. So I like didn't really say like, oh, I teach at classical Christian schools, which I probably should have, but I just said, are you familiar with classical schools? And then he was like, oh yeah, there's those 2. And I was like, yeah, so I'm subbing for those 2. And so then he was like, oh, Christian, whatever. So then we like ended up at some point, we were like talking about churches. I don't know. It was great. It was so good. And yeah, just really cool. Told me like a lot about how their business is started and like the whole history of their business. So a lot of stuff. But then like this just like worked out so well because I really want to do both. And he had said that they weren't hiring, but then he was like, I still want to meet with you. So I didn't know like where that line was. And so he basically said like, we need Saturday people, and we're thinking about doing like later in the evenings, like events or things like that where we would need help. And I'm like, that just opens the door for me to actually like connect with the school that just emailed me and said that they're looking for a 6th grade teacher. So it just like, it literally works out. No, I still have to interview for that. But anyway, it was just good. And like, definitely having experience like helped, and also being like a nice person. He was literally saying like, you usually have to pick one or the other. Like, either someone has experience and they're not nice, and then or they don't have experience but they're really nice. So I took that as a compliment. But yeah. Okay, so I'm back at home, and I thought I'd give a tour of our place now that we actually have furniture. And I think I've talked about certain furniture, but I don't know if I've actually shown you guys. So I'll show you our furniture as well. Okay, here's our living room in the 05 lens. This is the couch that we got last week. It's kind of like just a dark brown, and it's kind of more of a like textile fabric. And this is how I've got it set up right now. Obviously we've got bookshelves coming. I just need to go pick them up, and I haven't had time to do that. Our little record player station, and our dining room. You guys have seen the kitchen. It's nothing new, but then we've got our guest room set up. 1 and 2. And then bathroom we've already seen. And then here are the antique dressers that we got. And yeah, nothing like too crazy. I put like fabric in the bottom of them, or what is that called? Contact paper. Yeah, I don't know if I said this, but our bed frame that we had bought was actually a full size instead of a queen size bed. So we have to get a new one, and we've just kind of tabled getting stuff until after our friends are gone. So this is the house for a bit. We still need bedside tables and washer and dryer. And those are kind of like, and obviously the bookshelves, but those are kind of like the next steps. Guys, I don't even know. This week is crazy. Okay, I just had my interview with the school today. I think it went well. I don't know. It was harder to tell than the coffee one. But I'm literally, the guy texted me for the coffee shop, and the owner, and literally was like, hey, I'm like filling in at our drive-through location, and I can train you if you want to come by from this, like from now to 4. I was like, yes. So that's crazy. I'm headed there now. Hi guys. So this week was a lot of prep, a lot of interviews, and honestly it was really fun just to put the phone down and hang out with our friends. And actually a third guest ended up coming too, kind of last minute. And I don't know, we definitely want to be the household where like we can just continually like add people, especially like when we have kids. I want our kids to just like bring friends over, and just like to be ready for that. So I feel like I wasn't as ready, but partially just because we didn't even have really great bedding for the 2 beds, but I had Jordan, my brother-in-law, bring like an extra pillow and an extra blanket, so it ended up working out fine. Yeah, and it was really fun just to like have everyone and hang out. And actually they're still here, and it's Monday. So yeah, and then I wanted to read a little bit again from this book because I've just been loving reading this book, and it's a little unrelated to everything. I like to have something to read that's like kind of related to the week, but honestly, I read one of these chapters and I just was like, this is so good, and like something I've not heard a lot, and so I wanted to share because I felt like it was just so rare to actually get. And it's on, right, so this is about like communication with your husband, and I think I talked about this book last week by Lexi Sauvé, and Wisdom on Her Tongue, and Alec got it for me as a gift because I really like her, and she just came out with this book, and this chapter is on in praise of praising your husband, and just about like how to encourage your husband and like build him up. And it was just so good and such a good reminder. So I'm just gonna read like a little paragraph from that. As wives, we have to take seriously our role as cheerleader in the home. Your husband likely spends all day at work being critiqued for his job. He likely has his own inner battle with thoughts of inadequacy, wondering if he is doing enough, working hard enough, providing enough. You don't want him to hesitate the moment he walks through the door out of fear of being served up on an onslaught of complaints. There's no reason we can't learn from the housewives of yore who encourage their tired husbands with a pretty face, a kind word, and maybe a hot drink or a snack when he gets home. I don't think these are outdated whimsies to be scoffingly dismissed. These small acts add up to big expressions of thankfulness and honor towards our husbands. Again, that's Wisdom on Her Tongue by Lexi Sauvé.